Hi, welcome to a couple of my podcasts, episode 4. First, last, best, and worst. All right. Um, Daniel, please introduce us to this topic here, if you wish.
Yeah, I actually got the idea from a book I'm reading and I've read this week. It's called Storytelling, I think. I don't remember the name of the author, but it's about like improving in the way you tell stories. And the guy is like the guy gives like a lot of tips to improve and like just write one story worthy thing every day, like that happened to you that day
Okay.
and other stuff. But one of
How?
the things I liked the most was classifying things. He says like sometimes he runs out of ideas and he says, "Well, I'm not going to tell stories that are fake. So I'll just grab a certain subject like car and grab the first, last, best and worst car he's had and see if he's like if he can tell a story." So he tells a story of like his first car and he had a major accident and he almost died in that accident.
That is completely valid as long as you have multiple cars. Because if you only have one car, then it is all of them. It is both. It is all the best, the worst, the last, and the first.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, that's one thing. Well, he's really like, he has like 40, I think. So he's probably had several cars by now.
You
And
know,
that applies to that.
I'm quite jealous of your reading capabilities. I'm not saying I'm illiterate, because that'd be hilarious. Don't get me wrong, if you're illiterate, uh, please learn how to read. I understand it's struggle. It's a struggle, but the thing is, I'm just not very capable. And my point being that how do you get to these like idealistic books? Before we get into this, I'm just wondering because I have a hard time focusing on other people's ideas that are not mine and they're not fresh, and it's just going into them. They're kind of like very difficult to get behind in the first place, if you know what I mean.
I get you. Well, I don't know. This book specifically, I saw it like I saw it was not a review. It was more uh like a preview of the book. The guy was telling his story about when like how his life changed reading the book and how he wants to improve in life, and he listed several books that you can read and like made a little summary of them before like talking about like the key points he got from the books. And I was really interested because I've always liked storytelling, like telling stories to people. I think it's really interesting and it's something I really want to improve because I think I'm not the greatest at telling stories to people.
I rush my stories so badly, bro. Like it's so bad. Like it's incredible. I feel like my story work could use improvement, and I'm hoping that maybe today I could uh, use some of the tips you're about to give me because you read the book. So you're gonna have to hit me with some tips before we go into these topics that we have kind of picked and choose. So can you hit me with some tips on how to be a good storyteller? Something that you've learned from the book.
Well, I'm halfway through. I'm not finished with the book yet,
So give me
but
your half baked tips.
okay. So half baked tips right now are he says that the most meaningful stories have this 5-second moment where something happens and it changes you as a person. It doesn't have to be like drastic. He even tells us like explains that Jurassic Park is not about the dinosaurs. It's about the scientist that and his girlfriend, and they're like fighting cuz she wants kids and he says kids are like terrible at it.
True.
And throughout the story he has to like go along with these two kids, and there's a moment where like he has to take care of them and they're in a tree, and he mentions that like the author tells like that's the 5 second moment where he leaves dinosaurs behind and says, well, kids are not that annoying.
I
Like, I've been
remember that
taking care of
scene
them.
you're talking about. I guess it is important enough for me to remember because it is not a very significant scene. Like when you think about Jurassic Park, you think of like the T Rex scene, you think about like the raptor scene, and for me to have that scene memorized in my head means that it was quite significant because I remember him waking up and him looking at the kids and him having a moment of like realization that maybe he did want kids. But it's hilarious because in Jurassic Park 3, you end up seeing that he didn't end up marrying the girl or having kids, which is tragic.
It is tragic. But the story is about that. And he says, well, the dinosaurs are added to add like fun to the story. Because if you tell a story about a dysfunctional couple that
Who
is
would
fighting
want to
because
hear that?
one has the idea of like having kids and the other one's like, nah, they're annoying, you wouldn't like to like hear about that. But if you add the dinosaurs, you make it more interesting. So that's what he says. It's like grab like something that has happened to you, look for that moment that changed you. It doesn't have to be like a meaningful thing, like you're a new person. It just has to be like what you think is most important. And some of them like sometimes it's not the greatest thing that has happened,
Yeah.
but it's something like little that changes you.
So yeah, I understand. It doesn't have to have. It has to have significance, but it doesn't have to have great weight. Like there's not. There's not.
Exactly.
Weight doesn't have to be carried, but it has to be significant.
Exactly. And then like just prep the story. You're not gonna go directly to that 5 second moment and just leave it there,
True.
or just build up to it. And that's what he says. Like just that's what I've read until that moment. Like just find that 5 second thing. And most stories like have it. You just haven't looked at it that way.
True. Okay. So how about we just jump into it directly, and I'll let you lead first. Uh, as
Okay.
we could see here, as everyone could see here right now, we have a wheel, and there's a few things on it. Starting with sex, failure, party, job, vacation slash trip, birthday, and date. And we will go through all of them for sure, I think, is the plan. Right?
We can go through some. I don't
Through
know if
some.
we'll have time for for everyone.
Yeah, we'll take our
For
time.
everyone, for everything. So
So, are you ready? You're going to go
I'll
first,
just
right?
yeah, I'll go first. The thing is, I'll just let like I won't tell a full on story for most of these
Okay.
because I didn't have anything planned before. So I'll think about like some of the things. Probably should write it down somewhere, but make it more of like an anecdote
How
type
about
of thing.
this? How about this? We have each one of us. I'll make it interesting for us. Each one of us has a no you card. If we can't think of anything, we can give it to the other person, but we only have one of them. So you better make sure you use it correctly.
Ooh, okay.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, let's do it. So I'm gonna spin for you since I have control and you get to choose. You'll get to be the first one. So let's spin.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, starts out nice with a vacation slash trip.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Well, let's start with first. I like like I'm looking at it
On the stream.
before on the stream, yeah, and it has a delay, so I just saw like the fireworks and everything.
It was really loud.
Great.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so let's start with first. Damn, I have a terrible memory. I cannot think of like the first trip I've had, but
Really.
I think yeah,
My
like
first memory
I
is
know,
of a trip. Like, it's
yeah,
so injected
my
into me.
my first memory is of a trip too, but like this little part of a trip is I remember I was really little and I went with my grandpa and my mom to New York. And it's so stupid. Like the thing that stands out the most is just I remember it was the first time I was like feeling snow and like near snow and seeing snow. And we were in the parking lot of, I don't know where. I don't remember. I just remember there was like this hill.
Were you in New York City, by the way, or were you just in New York State?
We were in New York City, but we went to New Jersey, I think, or somewhere. I don't know. I was really little. I've seen the pictures. I know like exactly where the pictures were taken, but there's this moment in the trip, and I know it's that one because I've seen the pictures. There's a parking lot or just somewhere where there's a little hill full of snow, and I'm like running up the hill and then jumping and throwing and like going down like a penguin. Like I just go like that
You just
down the hill.
sled down using your like your
Sled.
tummy, just like
Exactly like, and it just go down the hill. And that's the memory I have. That's the first memory of a trip I have. Then the last trip, not much of like leaving the country, but going to my grandma's farm this last week was really chill. We talked about this before, but for the podcast, we'll
a little bit of.
tell it again. Yeah, it was not much. I didn't do much. I just this farm in Irasu, which is one of the volcanoes here in Costa Rica, and it's really nice. It's really cold. It has cows, so it's really relaxing. You
Do
can
you
listen
own
to
the
the
cows, or are
cows.
the cows just like wild,
No, they have like uh,
like a fenced?
places where they're fenced in several places, and the only time you can see them around is when they go get milked. I think it's
Have you ever been cow tipping?
what's cow tipping?
It's when you go and push over cows when they're sleeping, like you just push them, and then they just like you just hear them go "Mrrr," and just and they just hit the ground.
No, 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 I haven't been cow tipping. That sounds fun though.
You have to specifically go for the cows that are they sleep standing up. There's cows that sleep like on the floor, but there's some cows that sleep standing up, and you could tip them, and those are pretty funny.
That
You should
is really
expect
nice.
to run because they will be really mad.
Sounds amazing. I'll try that next time I go.
I don't want to be responsible for your injuries, but I also want to see you record it. So please do. If you're gonna go
Okay,
there, record it, and I want to see it.
perfect. Then let's go to best. Best, I think. I don't know. Like, I think the best trip I've had was 2 years ago. I went to Chicago.
Oh wow!
It
Did you
was
go see that big
amazing.
bean?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was have like a different type of thing. We usually, when we go to the States, we rent a car, but that time we didn't. We just decided to go and use the subway, use like public transportation to get around.
I'm a big
We
fan of
got the
that. Like I realized when I went to Korea that I'm a big fan of just using the infrastructure, the existing infrastructure, because it means that I get to live more with the people there than just being in a car.
exactly. If you're in a car, I get it for like long distance trip. Like if you're going
From
from one state to
Florida to
another, or yeah,
Canada or something.
exactly. I would get why you would get a car there, but for one city, specifically cities where you don't really need a car, like I think those are the
Chicago,
best cities. Chicago is
New
really good.
York.
Subway life is amazing. It was really good. Like we traveled around, and what I like the most about that trip is usually my parents have it planned already, but they were working and they told my sister and I like, "Hey, create this trip. You decide what to do." And I talked to my sister and we like planned the the whole trip, just what we would like to go and eat, where we would like to go. It was really good.
I'm
Got to see a
quite
lot of
jealous.
things.
I never have been able to plan one of my trips, and it's sad because I've traveled a lot, but it's just I never get the chance because they're always a spontaneous, b not led by me, or three, I don't have control at all because it's just like I'm in a completely foreign country where I have no concept of what's like normal.
Yeah, I get you. That was amazing. It's honestly a really good thing to do because, for example, I grabbed one day and my sister wanted to go to the zoo, but I didn't want to go to the zoo. I wanted to, something real stupid. I wanted to go to this medical museum there's in Chicago.
That sounds pretty cool.
It is really cool. They have like ancient uh like tools and everything they used in medicine. It's like a history of medicine museum. Really good, honestly. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it sounds
It even
very.
has
Mhm.
those iron lungs they used for polio patients.
Really.
They're really hard to find, and looking on one of those, it's crazy.
So what were you able to do? Were you able to go there, or did you have to go to the? So of course you went there, but what was the compromise you had to do?
What we did was that day, my sister wanted to go to the aquarium and the zoo. They're both like on different part of Chicago. Like the zoo is up north and the aquarium is down south. So we were in the aquarium and we decided to split up. My dad would go with me to the museum and my mom would go to the zoo with my sister. And then we'd meet up in the zoo. So my sister had a really fun time. There was like this light show we ended up seeing at the end. They light like the whole zoo full of like Christmas lights. They fill the trees and the enclosures and everything with lights. It's really nice to see like that whole thing.
I am
But
quite
yeah,
jealous because I love museums. I love them so much. I just love them. No matter what the museum's about, I've realized you've grown up when you love museums.
museums are
Because
amazing.
I love them. I could sit down, I could read every single entry, and you know what? I think that instead of going to museums, sorry, instead of reading history books, they should just have a good museum, and every kid goes to them for like an hour, and they just play around in the museum. Because museums could be really fun and interactive, and they're just like they encourage learning. I find, and it's
Mhm.
just very natural. All right, Daniel. I'm gonna have to hear your worst one because I'm quite excited to hear if you had a worst one or if you were to be able to classify one as your worst one.
I've been thinking about it like while we talk. I've just been like going back. I've had bad experiences during trips. I've had like something come out like I expected something from the trip and it wasn't that. But I think the worst I've had was one time I went to the beach with my parents
Mm-hmm.
and we decided to try this like new hotel. Like I don't know if it was new. I think it was we decided to go to an old hotel we knew before and we went to before. And when we got there, oh my god, I, there was a problem with the hotel and we had to like change places to go. We ended up like we had to spend the night somewhere else before going to like a new hotel. We ended up in this like really old house. It looked creepy as hell. It's like all wood, wooden floors. Every time you walk, it creaks. It's just creepy as hell. There's just one light bulb hanging from the ceiling.
Listen, I've had this happen to me, and I went to Montreal with the Airbnb, and it was me and my girlfriend at the time,
Uh-huh.
and it was tragic. Like I felt bad, and I wasn't gonna pay $300 for a hotel that night, so I had to stay there, and it was just like the trashiest thing in the world. But
Happened to me. Plus, we're at the beach, and it was like humid as hell. We're dying. Oh, also, there were like not enough beds, so we had to like share beds, and it was like we were all sticky and sweaty. It was terrible. Like, I think that's the worst trip I've had. But then we went to another hotel, and it was okay. Like, the next day was okay, and the rest of the days were okay. But I think that's the one that I would classify as my worst.
That's extremely valid. I feel like if you're not feeling comfortable, then it doesn't really like it doesn't encourage any of your experience. But then again, most of my trip to Korea was feeling uncomfortable, and I loved every single second of it because it was just like a different type of uncomfortable. You know, like it's
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Korea and I was thinking of Canada. Like I've had
oof.
still experiences what I like didn't expect what like I didn't expect that from the vacation, but being outside like Costa Rica and everything, it just felt nice, you know. Like even if you were uncomfortable, you were like getting to know another country, and it was amazing.
I feel
It
like
wasn't a really bad experience.
if you come to Canada, I should probably guide you this time because I feel like now I have more foundations here than ever, so it'd be a lot more interesting. So
It'd be amazing. Honestly, I would love to go
you come anytime.
anytime.
This
I'll
is,
be there tomorrow.
all right, dude. We're in lockdown, but we'll make it happen.
Okay.
Oh boy, it's
Now,
my turn here, isn't it?
yeah, it's your turn.
All right,
Let's look at what you get.
all right. Spin, spin. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Date, kiss. Ah, shit. All right, it's gonna be kiss. Whoa, it's kiss. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. They're like cheering super loud. All right, kiss. So the first kiss. All right, when are we counting first kiss? Cause like, are we talking first real kiss or are we talking first kiss ever? Because I feel like first kiss ever is like sometimes you have one when you're like 4, 5, and it's just like a friend, and it's just like, oh, we kissed, whatever.
Yeah, a first real kiss.
Okay, so my first real kiss was like literally no joke in middle school, which is crazy late. First of all, like, uh, it was my first real girlfriend, and it was actually spontaneous, and I didn't see it coming, and it was like outside of school, and it just like it hit me hard, and in fact, it is one of the kisses in my head that like I have stuck in my head as being like one of the best kisses I've ever had because it's just like I think it's because it was spontaneous and because it was out of nowhere and I wasn't expecting it that made it so good. Because thinking back on it, like, I'm not saying she was a bad kisser I'm saying that she was a good kisser, but it was just not the like it's not like the godly kiss I remember. I think it's more of the idea of the kiss that had me intertwined in it that like made me do it. And if I remember, this is let me set up mentally the date. So first things first. Sorry, not the date, the kiss, but somewhat it was a date, so it kind of goes that way. Um, oh boy. So my first kiss, I went to go meet her and her dad at Multiplaza, which is a mall in Costa Rica. And I went there with my dad, and just to reassure, because we're in middle school, so we had to reassure each other's parents that we were all good, that we were all safe. And so whatever that happened, we went back to my place, and I have a movie theater. So I'm like, oh, let's watch a movie. We're gonna watch a movie, and I remember just like we just kissed, and I was just like, wow, this is like a kiss, and it hits you for the first time ever, and you're like, I could kiss for hours, and that's what I did. I kissed for hours. It was just incredible, and I was definitely
Nice.
learning as I was going, but I feel like it was quite nice. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like when you learn to kiss, it's literally you're just copying the first kiss you've ever had, and then after that, you're just mimicking the people that are the best kissers after that. So you're just like doing that. And luckily I had a pretty good first kiss, so then I feel like I don't know, Daniel, we'd have to test it between you and I. We just kiss each other and then we could see who like maybe I could copy some of your techniques and you could copy some of mine. We could change notes is what I'm trying to say. Uh,
Damn.
alright, my last kiss, dude. My last kiss. Let me think. Okay, my last kiss was with this girl I was somewhat having a fling with, and I remember it. So me and her had been having a fling for about a few months, and I decided to call it quits. I wanted to be friends instead because I was like, if it goes any longer, we just develop a toxic behavioral like a feelings toward each other. So I'm like, listen, how about we just end it? And we agreed, and it was the last day, and I went over to her house. We watched a movie. We just enjoyed ourselves, like being ourselves in with each other. And when I said goodbye to her at the end of the night, I obviously gave her a kiss. Like goodbye, and it was very simple, very clean, and that was it. Now my best kiss, my best kiss, as I said, was my first one because it was like out of nowhere, and it's just like iconic. It was iconic. I feel like everyone's first kiss is the best one. Even it's just because like the rush going through your head, and I'm not sure. If, like, do you agree with me? Is this something that you kind of concur with, or is it something that you disagree with me?
I don't know. I guess like I would agree it's in the top five or top three. It's top three.
Top five.
Definitely top three.
How many people have you kissed? I
I
feel
know,
like
that's why I said top three.
how many people have I kissed? All right. Mm-hmm.
I haven't thought of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like seven, I think.
Dang it. How do I not remember like my ex girlfriends? Is that weird? Like, okay, yeah. Okay, so one for sure. One for sure. Two, like I'm just gonna go through my middle school life. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, at least nine people. It's just I've had nine relationships, like, and I guess I've kissed all of them, and maybe I've kissed more, but I really am not the kiss type of person. I know that Costa Rica, I know like this show is called A Couple of Maes, so like I should point this out. Costa Rica has a huge culture around making out with people, and I don't get it, but it is there, and it is what it is. But I just haven't made out with many people.
I'd have to count, but like, let's see. Here's three.
It is, yeah. Count while I think of my worst.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, now I remember my worst. So I'll let you count while I speak about my worst. So, my worst experience was with my last long term relationship. It was basically her first real kiss, which is incredible because she was incredibly beautiful and incredibly outgoing, and it was just like something that she hadn't done before because her parents kind of sheltered her. So when she went for a kiss, like she just used like the bird beak method where it was just like a peck, and she was going in with a peck full on. She's like straight into it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck are you doing? What the heck? Like it's a lot more like natural than that. There's just like, and she was just generally confused, and I had to lay it down. I had to lay down the groundwork for her, and eventually she became a good kisser, but it took so long. It took so long. It was incredible how long it took. But yeah, it was the worst kiss. I I remember how much of a bad kiss it was that I had to tell her. I'm like, you're a bad kisser, and it's okay because we'll get it through it. I'll get through this together, and she was okay with it because at least I was being straight up, and she eventually became better, and now she's kissing some other fool. Just kidding.
With all the things I taught her.
With all the, I understand Drake now, bro. I understand Drake. Taught doing something I taught you with someone else. Oof, those lyrics be hitting hard.
Yeah. I got to count. It
Oh.
was 17.
Holy crap! But you're more part of makeout culture than I am, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, because I'm not much into partying in the first place. Which, by the way, I've realized a few days ago I posted a story on my Instagram about what people miss, and everyone said parties. And I'm not a big party person, but I think I will be after this. And I'm excited and I'm trying to connect with people in Costa Rica, like as many people as possible in Costa Rica that are English speaking, because of course I'll still have like a separation, like a still little bit of a roll about like a correct roll through before I start speaking Spanish fluently again, and I rather be comfortable before I go and like do something incorrectly, because I'm not really a big part of party culture or make. I'm not trying to be part of makeout culture. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to be part of the culture of like having fun with my friends and going out drinking, because I enjoy that a lot. But like, you know what I mean?
I get you perfectly.
So
When you
what
come
I'm
here, we could go
trying to
out.
say, Daniel, is invite me to fucking parties when I show up.
Perfect. I'll invite you to parties
Like
when you show up here.
I've reconnected with Ryan, which means absolutely nothing to people watching. But I reconnected with Ryan. I reconnected with what's his name, Martin recently. Like I'm just trying to like uh, by recently I mean within the last 3 months. I'm just trying to see like if I could find myself more groundwork, because I realized that my adult life is heading there and I need to like network at least a little bit more. I understand that of course like you'll be like, oh, you could hang out with me and my friends is what you were gonna say, but at the same time I don't want to be stealing your friends or whatever, because like you say like, but at the
We
same
can share.
we cannot share. That's not how it works. Like, I want you to be strong with your friends. And of course, like, I can still hang out with them and I can still call them my friends, but I would not want them to be like my main group. Because don't get me wrong, like, I think they're just way too smart for me. Like, I've talked to them and they're like, whoa. Like, dang.
Well,
Plus, you know, they need to work on their dankiness. Little,
well,
little dank.
really bad memes.
All right. All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, just so you know, date, birthday, job, party, failure, and sex are still up in the board, and you still have your card available. So let's put this to the
The no
spin.
you is just for one, like for the whole thing, or just one specific.
For what? Oh, that's a good question. Let's do it for the specifically into one of them. So it
You just
is.
saw what I got.
Yeah. Wait, do you want to tell us what we
Whoa.
got? Because I forgot.
I really don't want to go with
It's
that other
failure.
thing. It's a failure. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get the other one, and I'm like, oh no, no.
Yeah, it almost landed on sex, right? Which
Yeah.
is scary. And I think that whoever gets it first is gonna have to do the know you, unless they're
Yeah.
really excited to talk about their sex failures, or sorry, their worst sex experience.
Damn. Okay, let's go with failures.
So failures it is.
Hmm.
While we wait, I guess I could do a failure that I feel like I'm kind of attached to right now, as you
Okay,
think.
go ahead.
I remember me my I had really bad dyslexia and ADHD growing up during middle school, and it was so bad I went to see like one of those like people that check your brain or whatever, and they're like, oh, like professionally diagnosed people, and I've already been diagnosed before, and they just wanted to see how bad it was, because I was doing tragically bad in school. I was like failing like 2 classes, and it was just the lack of dedication what really said it fell through. And I remember like failing 2 classes and barely getting about it. And I remember my mom and my dad talking across the room, and they're like, "This kid's not gonna make it through high school." And like, if this report, like they got the report, and the report basically said I wasn't gonna make it. Like, there was no chance of me going to university because of my horrible like lack of focus. So I was like, well, that's it. And I remember that day was the day I decided to just like start trying really, really hard. And I did pretty well for myself. I understand, like I said, failure, but like I did fail 2 of my classes. I remember failing Spanish so bad that they put me with SSL, which is crazy because till then, I was a Spanish speaker fluently. But I just decided, I told myself that I was just like, I don't want to try in Spanish. I really don't. It's like something I don't really have to try in, and I just let it be. And it was just something I had to get comfortable with. But then I went on to join honors and whatever afterwards, like really shortly afterwards. So I was like, it only took just a little shift in my attitude to really get going. Also, hearing my mom and dad talk about how much of a failure I was really fucking hurts me till this day. But you know what? You're not my psychologist, Daniel, so you better back off.
Well, you found your 5 second moment. That's
True.
it.
True.
Even though it hurts, you got it. It was the moment you decided to change things up.
I did. It was the moment where my mom and dad were talking shit and they thought they couldn't hear me. But guess what, mom and dad? I could hear you. And I know I'm the reason for the divorce. Just kidding.
Jeez.
I'm definitely not the reason. It was definitely the fact that they're very toxic towards each other. But anyway, Daniel, tell us about your first, last, best, and worst.
I think my first has to be in middle school too. I remember 7th grade was just, I didn't try. It was just like, I had this really weird group of friends and they were not like really helpful in like school stuff. They would rather like go out and do other stuff than study and whatever. And like, I remember I stopped doing homework. I stopped doing a lot of things. And eventually I remember I got a 60 in one of the quarters. And that was when I decided to change things up. I'm like, nope, I'm
Six,
not doing this.
60 is failing, by the way, in Costa Rica. 60
Yeah.
is still passing here, baby. Let's go.
Lucky ass.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, you pass with a 70 here.
I thought it's a 75, no?
No, it's 70.
Okay.
So it's real good.
That means I did quite good in my classes, actually.
Yeah. And then that was like the first. The last.
Do you remember what class it was that you failed or got a 60 on?
Literature.
Literature, really.
Yeah.
Who were we having literature with the time at? Like a 7th grade.
It was Fiorella.
Oh, that wasn't literature. That was grammar, wasn't it?
She gave both in 7th grade. We took.
Those were horrible. I cannot believe that they put a Latina teacher to teach us English at a 7th grade level. Like that's such an important part of our lives. Like that's when we're sponges. We're sponges to like anything. And they gave us like such a I'm not saying she's bad at teacher. I just think that there was more adequate teachers in our school that could have done a better job.
Yeah, then in 8th grade they changed to McKinnon, and I remember I was doing amazing because I loved the way like she taught class and everything. It was just amazing. I think last would have like I failed several tests throughout the semester.
This semester or previous semesters?
Oh no, this semester. Like there's this class where I have a bunch of tests. There are like 8 total in the whole semester. And for some tests, it doesn't even matter like if I studied a shit ton or it doesn't even matter. Like I studied a shit ton actually. I did study. And
No.
it was terrible. I was just looking at the questions and I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what I'm doing.
Dude, I hate it when that happens. It's happened to me recently too with a exam I took, and it feels like hopeless. It feels like I put so much hours into this, and it just feels like it's a waste of time, and it's the worst thing in the world is to waste your time. I find.
Exactly. Yeah. But okay. Well, yeah. I think with that, there's no lesson in that. Sometimes you just spend so much time doing something and it doesn't work out.
So, now that we talked about lesson, tell us about your best failure. A failure that was so good that it might have not been a failure. Instead, it would have been a le win.
Lewin. I think it's gonna be like contradicting, but my best and worst is the same story.
All right, let's hear it.
In second semester, I failed one class. Yeah, one class, and almost failed a second one. I had to go to like what's it called? Extracurricular? No, it's not that. It's
Oh,
like
I know what Costa Rica has these, and they're like a second chance to pass the test, and it's literally just a whole year in one exam, right?
exactly. It's like a final. You look at the whole year or the whole
Oh,
semester, and
like a
and
like a reposition. It's something re. It's re something.
yeah, I don't remember the name right now, but the whole point is if you get more than like if your grade is between 60 and well above 60, but you're not passing, like above 60 in the test and you're still not passing, they give you a chance to like take another test, and if you pass the test you pass the class with a 70.
I actually remember this because I was in a vacation with my cousin once, and I remember his mom got a phone call, and they're like, you didn't pass algebra 2, and they had to leave because he had to start studying for his algebra 2 test, and we were in like in Guanacaste, and I'm like, well, and I just made fun of him for the next 2 years because he failed algebra 2. And then I
Yeah,
took algebra 2, and he's like, oh, you're having trouble with algebra 2? And I was destroying it. It was so easy. Algebra 2 is just like ridiculously easy. So,
yeah, yeah. I think, well,
so why are they the
that's,
best and the worst? Is it just because,
yeah, that doesn't count as part of the story. It's just like something that happened,
okay.
but I failed anatomy, and I remember it was like, for me it was super hard at least,
I remember
and
you
I
telling
felt
me that
terrible.
I remember you telling me that you're like, oh, I can't believe I failed that.
Yeah, like it was throughout the semester it was terrible. Like even though I studied, it was just so hard for me because in high school at least and throughout middle school too, our way of learning was always more of an analytical thing. Like you look at this and you analyze it and that's how you're graded. Like our tests were not memorize this whole book and then rewrite it at the time of the test. It was more like analyzing the deeper meaning of this thing and other stuff. Anatomy is just memory. It's just memorizing everything about the human body. And I think that's what I struggled with the most at first. And also, I didn't know how to study. It was just trying to learn how to study.
So you're
And
thinking,
I,
so do you think the test put you into a shape where you're just like, oh, I gotta study?
oh no, it was not the test. It was the whole semester. Test after test. It was after like failing that semester. I felt terrible. It was like the first and last, I think, time I failed something. Let's hope last. And I had to like retake that class, and it was it was kind of weird. It was like I felt really disappointed in me, but I tried my best, and somehow it wasn't enough. But thanks to that, now I know how to study at least. Uh, I met my whole group of friends and everything
Are they a year
like
behind
that.
you?
No,
Like
they're
a,
in the same year because well, for example, the only friend that like has been constant throughout like first semester and everything was Felipe. And this guy, second semester, he decided to like take the semester and split it into two. He didn't fail or anything. He just decided to take like
yeah, space him
it was
out.
space him out, yeah. So he took like two or three classes one semester and two classes the other.
Yeah.
And thanks to that and failing, we're in the same generation now. So it's really nice to like at least have somebody that even though we didn't talk much in second semester, when everything happened and I had to retake everything, we reconnected, and like that's my best friend from university. And yeah, it's
So I could see why it's the best and the worst. So,
Exactly. I felt terrible, but at the same time, it brought so many things
oh
that
man,
are like amazing.
I'm kind of scared of spinning because these ones are pretty bad. Especially there's one coming up that I feel like we're gonna get regardless, and I'm just gonna use my card if we do get it. So I'm sorry, but not really. Unless you get it next time, which would be tragic. Oh,
That would be
okay.
tragic.
Let's go. Birthday, baby. Woo!
You got birthday?
I got birthday. Woo! All right. The first birthday, I was 1 years old, baby. One. My last, I was 22, baby. 22. Nah. My first birthday that I remember was one that I had a huge party set up on third grade, and I remember inviting everyone, and it was amazing. And it's because I had quite a big property at the time. I had this huge swing that I just installed, and I just wanted everyone to be part of it. And I remember it was so legendary that when I invited them again for like 3 years after in sixth grade, everyone showed up again, and they were just like having such a great time. And it was just like at the time, it's just the fact that everything that we've encountered and everything that we did was quite good. I remember this being my first birthday because first birthday party I remember because there's us like our next door neighbor owns horses, and I remember the horse was born that same exact day, which was cool. And it's just I remember my teacher was there because you invite your teachers when you're young to like their party for some reason. Just think weird about it when I think about it. But I did it, and then sixth grade I didn't invite our teacher because our teacher was weird, like really weird. Thinking about it, like he always used to like, it yeah, like it's not the point.
I
But
remember that sixth grade party.
yeah,
That's the first party I went to in AIS. It was your party. And we didn't even talk much. I was surprised you invited me. I'm like, damn.
yeah. I to be fair, I didn't talk that much at all. Like I only talked to like two people, maybe three. Anthony, Yoa, and Connor at the time, or Adam, whoever it was, an exchangeable white person that was there. And I remember the movie because I remember this specific party, the second party, because it was a time that we had a movie theater and everyone watched Quarantine and whatever, and it was like a big deal. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have a movie theater!" And they wouldn't shut up about it for like that. So basically, to like graduated after that party, it was that big of a deal. And it's so lame because it was just a kids party, and I remember people like, "Oh my god, it was such a good party," but I'm just like, bro, it was a kids party, and that's it. I guess it was just a matter of like, it was something I was already used to, like having all these things around me. So it's just like, it's understandable that why they were so hyped. Um,
Mhm.
Now my last birthday, was I in Costa Rica for my last birthday? No, I was definitely here. I didn't do much for my last birthday. Um, I just don't think of my birthday. I think this birthday, in fact, I forgot it was my birthday till like halfway through, which I've realized it's become more of a normal thing for my birthday to sneak up on me because I'm not one for dates in general. Like, you could ask any of my other significant others, like, not other significant others, that makes it sound like I have many of them. My ex significant others, that I have a hard time with dates. I can't even remember their dates. The only dates I have in my like in my head that I can remember is a few. My dad, my ex girlfriend, my sister, mine, and El Dia de Juan Santa Maria. Of
My
course,
birthday.
Daniel's birthday. And I only know it because it's the Dia de Juan Santa Maria, which is April 11th, right? April 11th. Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Big brain. And that's the only birthdays I know. My best birthday, mm, best birthday. You know, for someone that doesn't enjoy their birthday often, it's really hard to think of yourself as a like the best birthday. Um, it's just interesting. I guess my best birthday was when my ex girlfriend set up a little party for me, and it was very enjoyable. We went bowling, we went go karting, which by the way I destroyed them in go karting. Let me say, uh, and I just remember thinking back and giving people tips on how to drive because I'm like the best driver among us, sus. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Uh, I hate myself.
That meme reference.
Yeah, I don't know why, but anyway, I remember like enjoying myself a lot, and we went to our arcade, which is my shit. I love arcades, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was just a simple, small, low key, only four of us or maybe five, and it was enjoyable. Now, my worst birthday, I remember like maybe when I was 12 and like I just remember coming home from school and I just got like a bad test grade or whatever. I'm like, this is the worst birthday and I'll remember it forever. And apparently I did because I'm here talking about it. I remember crying. I remember just like tears and I remember having to have the paper signed. And luckily
Oh,
my mom was understanding. She's like, "Oh, you poor thing." And she signed me the papers, but in reality, I knew she was disappointed. I knew. And it was just like, I hate it when teachers tell you to go sign your test. Like, my mom doesn't need to know I'm a failure. She already knows. She's the one that raised me. She knows.
right.
So
She
it
knows.
was interesting. Uh, yeah, those are my things. Are you ready for a spin, Daniel?
I was thinking of that. How much time do we have left?
We have 10 minutes, maybe 20. It was
Okay.
51 in, so we have a little bit more. We have, unless you want to just freestyle talk, or we could freestyle talk after your spin, if you want.
Let's let's do one each. I'll do this and you'll do the next and we'll try to like rush through them.
All right, so we'll do speed, like a speed one.
Speed run, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Don't go into detail that much.
Daniel.
Don't tell me until I see it on the
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you.
no.
Are we allowing the card on the speed runs one? Cause I'm not sure we should for the speed run ones, right? Or unless
Yeah.
actually,
Let's
unless you
go
feel
ahead.
like you want to.
Yeah, because I cannot think of one.
What?
It's surprisingly, it's not the one you think of.
What do you mean? I
But
don't. I'm not thinking of anything.
okay, so first time it was uh in a car, in my car.
In your car. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I'm not gonna ask questions because it's speed run time.
No questions. It's no questions. Yeah, it was really awkward. I didn't know what to do.
Dude,
You always like,
it's
you
so
just like
awkward the
stick it in,
first
and
time.
what the fuck do I do? Like, where do I go?
It was so
What's
awkward for
next?
me that I just didn't know where to go. Like, where do I go? Like, I took sex ed, it's a basic form of sex ed, but everything goes through the roof when you're in that moment. You're just like,
That's the thing. In sex ed, they just teach you how to be safe, not how to fucking
yeah,
be good at fucking.
why don't they teach me how to be good at fucking?
Just teach me.
Yeah,
Teach me how to be the master.
actually, the teachers that did teach us, they got fired or they just got let go. Now that I think about it, so it's
Yeah, I would understand why.
valid, valid.
Valid. Then I think I'll go next with the no you because I can't remember last time.
For the last one, oh dude, last one for me was with the fling I was having, and it was the last day. Uh, we were hanging out, and we knew it was the last day, so we're just like, yeah, we're gonna do it last time, and we did it. I haven't had sex after that. I think. Yeah, I don't think I've had sex after that. Now that I think about it.
Okay. No, I'll go next with best. I think best was I remember going to a motel and we spent the whole day there, and it was really nice. We only did that for the whole day. Uh, I really want to try that again.
You know, I don't have that experience going to a motel because I own my own apartment. Uh, So I kind of want to, but at the same time, why spend the money? But I'm also thinking like next time maybe like I have a significant other, just take him to Niagara and have like a nice place, a nice view, and just you know, that's the plan.
Damn.
So Daniel, if
Yeah.
you consider yourself lucky enough, no.
I mean, I would definitely love to go to Niagara Falls. I think I spent like 2 hours there, 3 hours maybe
Oh
when I
wow,
went there, and I would definitely love to like stay a whole
that's quite a
day
little
there.
bit of time for Niagara.
Yeah, I remember like uh, um, it was back when I was with Felicity, and well, her dad took us there. We walked around. I remember taking some pictures of the falls and everything. Then we went to like town, and I remember it was super colorful. We went into some places, but we just walked around, and that was it. Like I think we ate something along the way, and that was just it. Then her dad like picked us up, and we left. That was my day at Niagara Falls.
Because Niagara is kind of considered like the Las Vegas of Canada, so it's quite interesting that
Yeah.
you only spent like 3 hours there. So it's tragic. Maybe when you come here again, I could show you around a little bit. Maybe we just go to casinos and use up $200 of our own money. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Waste $200 in one spin.
Let's go, baby. All right. And worst.
Worst. Surprisingly, I've thought about this like for the whole week since we talked about this subject. I knew it was coming up, and I thought about it for long. I
Okay.
remember it was second semester. I was kind of like it was it was like never an official thing with her, but I was with this girl, and I remember this one time I was like kissing and going like down on her,
Okay.
and it smelled terrible,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
I had to back up and go back up because I would not go down there. Terrible. 0 out of 10. It was no.
I I feel like I have some bad ones. It's just a matter of just like sometimes I'm just not in the mood. I hate to say it, but like it just like sometimes your significant other or whatever is in the mood and you're just not in it and you're just like, oh fuck, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And throughout the whole time, like you really want to be having a good time and your mind doesn't switch to that mode and you're just annoyed the whole time. And I hate it. I hate it when that happens.
And then you
But
have that post nut clarity, and you're like, why did I even do this?
yeah, not even like sometimes like you don't even get to that point. They're just like they're just I'm satisfied and you're
Enough.
like you're just in a dark room and and they've
What have
gone
I done?
they've gone, you know, they're taking care of themselves in the bathroom and I'm just in the bed laying to myself thinking, why did I do this? Like I could have said no, but I think girls think of us as like sex machines. Like we're always thinking about sex, and that's understandable because it's like 99% of the time. But that 1% of the time, when they like, and you're just like, no, next time I should just say no. But at the same time, it's like it's kind of hard to say no. But yeah, all right,
I get you.
let's spin.
Let's go. You got the easiest one. It's everything left is so
Hey, I mean, date is pretty good.
date would be an amazing one.
Guess what I got?
Date.
It is date. All right, so let me switch up the scene. So my first date, as I said before, was with this girl in middle school. This last date was tragic. I got canned. It got canned. Listen, I have the gift basket underneath my bed. In fact, I have it saved for the next girl that comes around. She'll never see it coming. She'll think I'm so romantic. In reality, I'm throwing that bitch for someone else. It's interesting because it was like very spontaneous. She was really into it, and I guess this doesn't count as a date. But since I'm already talking about it, it is what it is. And all of a sudden, she was gonna like pick up the gift. She was here, and in the parking lot, she's just like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I just realized I'm not emotionally available, And at that point, the only thing you could say is be respectful and just say, I understand and it's okay. And I, in fact, offered her the gift regardless. I'm like, do you want the gift? Like, I have no use for it. Like, I made it for you, so I might as well just give it to you. And, like, at the same time, like, whatever. Like, as soon as you get rid of it, you're like, you forget. And that's, she said no. And I'm like, fuck. That means I'm just going to have to store this, which is annoying, in my opinion. So,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
uh,
sounds terrible.
yes, see,
Like,
yeah, that's my best date.
even saying no to the gift, like, oh,
Yeah. Saying no to the gift was something that tricked me because I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd say yes to the gift. Even if I was
of
like,
course, no.
so it was just whatever. And my best date, I'm going to say skip because I don't really think of one. So I'm going to let you do your best date.
My best. Damn, I can't really think of one right now. Let's see. I think the best. I remember it. I don't know if it's considered a date, but we went to the beach together and we stayed at this hotel. It was really nice. Had the best time, honestly. It was amazing, really relaxing, really get your mind off everything else. Just spend time together. Yeah, that was it.
Valid, valid. Okay, worst date. I've had some pretty bad dates. I remember going to a Korean restaurant down here in Oshawa, and
Oof.
I've had Korean before. She had never had Korean before, and she was not having it. She was like, "What is this?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"This is kimchi. It's really good." She's like, "This is horrible." I'm like, "Who the hell do you think you are? This is kimchi. This is kimchi."
that's why.
And
That's why you ask. You ask like, what are some foods you don't like
oh, the,
before planning something?
the thing is that it was her idea. We were walking in downtown, and she's like, "Let's go in here." And I'm like, okay, this is Korean. Like I could kind of guide us. I could kind of guide us on Korean food because I
Mm.
went to Korea for a long time, so I have it. So I ordered the best food. You know, we're talking like I'm talking like things I enjoyed when I was in Korea. And at the time, I could see them in the menu, so I could say them out loud. And I'm like, I want this and that. Right now, I can't think of what I exactly remember ordering. I remember ordering kimchi, and she didn't like it, and she was mad at me. She was upset that I ordered what I ordered. When in reality, it was the fact that she didn't like Korean food, and it was just funny. At the end of the day, it was funny for me. She wasn't. She. I laughed. Like I laughed because she was the. It was the one. She was the one with the idea, and regardless, it's what happened. Uh, yeah. All right.
Sometimes it happens. Korean food is amazing though.
Speed run with the last two, and Daniel, you're gonna have to.
Oh, I think. Oh, or we're gonna speed run with the two left. I thought we were gonna just leave it there.
Oh, do
Like,
you want to leave it there? It is party, so we could maybe talk about. You know what? Let's leave let's leave the live stream talking about our party experiences. I feel like that's pretty like laid back, and we could talk even further of our parties because me and you are not like I'm not exactly the same party type than you are. So I'm interested in knowing what your party attitude is like.
sounds good.
Plus, it helps me
Remember.
kind of delay my inevitable study material.
Okay, perfect. Then I guess we'll end our episode here. Just remember, if you want to keep on watching for next episodes, we do a live stream on Twitch. Join us before and after every single recording. We usually do it on
Sunday.
Sundays. So we'll be posting our schedule
Yep.
on our Twitch. And yeah, basically, remember to join.
Thank you for joining.